realize that if there's somebody in that hall that's not a relative, something's wrong. Really. So as they're going through these people, pictures, and giving out the awards, she says, gee, I think I know him. I said, oh, Bobby, you know somebody everywhere. You don't know him. Sure enough, he was something for Cheryl.
Yes.
A teacher. Mm-hmm. And he also got, I think he was the military or the educator award. All right, but I got to tell you, if you ever want to see someone put on an event, you have to see what this club did. When we walked in there, you're thinking of small, really small, second time. How big could it be? I'm going to tell you right now. There were tables of 10. There was over 200 people. Every chair was covered in white satin with a big black bow around it. And we had the honor, really, of being there. We really did. It was amazing. It was something that they made a joke with me, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because I'm white or what, but let me tell you what happened. It could be because I'm white. I don't know. Here's what happened. We walk in there, and we have 195 beautiful black people. And there were 5 of us that were white. This is no... Am I lying, Bobby?
It's true.
No.
It's true.
And we have our one table, right? And so we're enjoying food like I haven't ever been to an affair like this. The food was out of this world. The music was too loud. Bobby and I tried to move our table, but they wouldn't let us because we were sitting right behind it. But anyway, we're sitting there. Now, out of all the people there, all the people that I explained was there, I hear this. I understand we have Chicky Brandamarte, Commissioner Chicky, in the room. So I thought, now, why are they singling me out? What the heck did I do now? This is great. And so she said, will you stand up, right? Mm-hmm. So I said, Bobby, what's going to happen now? She said, I don't know. So I stood up. She says, we've heard a lot about you. And then she went on and on and on. And finally, everybody started to laugh. It brought down, think of 200 people laughing at the same time. Yeah. But they weren't laughing at me.
They were laughing.
They were laughing with me.
Yes.
And they all applauded it. To the point, did you ever go brain dead like when you're standing in front of people and for that 1 minute you don't hear what the heck they're saying? You don't hear nothing. All you're thinking of is, why am I standing here? What did I do? And that's the way it was. I couldn't wait to jump down and sit next to Bobby and grab her hand. Because I don't even know what the end of the joke was. But it was a joke. Wasn't it? Something about a food dish.
It was about the food dish, yes.
It was about a food dish. But I want to show you the National Council of Negro Women's Inc. plaque that they presented Bobby with. And I'll tell you, if you ever want an evening that you don't know what's going to happen, try going out with her. Try going out with her. And when we got there, that's your plaque, Bobby, right? We all were received a black bag. I thought that was really cute. And what do you think is in it?
Black cup.
A black cup with their emblem on. And this is only their second event. And there was an amazing woman there who started college with $2.50. Am I right? Yeah. Yep. And then another lady who in the school, they didn't have any ink for the kids. So you know what she'd do? She got a blender and she blended berries to make ink for the children to use during their school. I mean, make you cry, bring a tear to your eye, really. But they were all wonderful, weren't they?
We had a good time.
Oh, we had a great time. So I'm proud of her, and I want you to know that.
All of us was there, so I'm going to ask us to just stay up here and get closer so we can get the picture together, because this is my last picture with you guys.
Yeah.
Come on, Marco. You want to go down? Okay.
Again?
Again.
Well, she's a wrestler. She can walk.
I know.
Any more presentations I need to know about? No. Nobody? Okay. She has a box? She needs a box. Oh. And the flowers are from various residents, and the big orchids that Commissioner Gray says she's probably going to kill because she doesn't. What do you call it? A green thumb?
I only have silk flowers at my house. Nothing
Okay.
living.
That was from our CRA. And it's something else down there from the Lions Club.
To eat.
It's a ham. Is it vegan?
No.
Okay. Oh, okay. Moving along.
One more.
One more? Okay. You?
Mine is very short. I would like to thank all of you for the honor and the privilege of serving the city of Dania Beach as mayor, vice mayor, and commissioner for the last 17 years. We have not accomplished everything that we set out to do, but most of the things we have. I appreciate your support for this team and for the team that's coming behind me to make sure that we do everything possible for the citizens of Dania Beach. Together we have accomplished much, but we can do so much more. I give to my family, especially my support, my husband of 56 years, James Allen Grace. Please stand, baby.
Yeah, two. Okay.
That's Jim and Jim. In case you don't know it, you figure out which one it is. It's Jim and Jim, okay? My family, will you please stand?
Where's your grandson? There he is.
Evie, Deborah, come on, okay? Because you know I'm going to call you out, okay? To the residents, the community, the churches, all of the organizations, and especially my colleagues that I serve with. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for letting me serve. Thank you so much.
So special. All right. Special event requests for the holiday tree lighting. Do we have any issues?
No, Mayor.
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Special event requests from the Blue Ridge Tree Farm to allow holiday tree sales. Do we have any issues?
No, Mayor.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Special event request for the Tamara James Foundation to have our Thanksgiving drive to be held next week. Do we have any issues?
Mayor, just a few. As the backup indicates, well, actually not issues, but things we want to bring to light to the City Commission. The request came in a little bit later, but since it's of the do-gooder nature, we want to make sure we can accommodate it. Eric, do you have a moment to just come up? I know you spoke with the mayor regarding the special event application. I'm sorry we don't have a written application.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners,
Good
City
evening.
staff. What we're doing now, I spoke with the mayor, and we just need an application on file. We'll process that tomorrow, and I will get with the BSO to make sure that the deputies are on board.
With that, let's move the item.
Just a technical matter. I think the mayor had asked for generally that the application fees be waived, and were you looking for a off-duty detail?
Yes.
No,
Well.
we have the detail down pat. I was asking because it's outgrown down the street, and so we collaborated with the CRA. So I was asking that the fees for the facility to be waived.
Okay. All right, so I think the motion is to waive the application fee, whatever rental fees there would be for the CRA, and if PSO is satisfied, then there's no extra detail.
And I just ask that the application is just processed starting tomorrow.
Move the item.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Citizens' comments. Colin Jones. Please state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes.
Colin May Jones, 22 Northwest 14th Ave, Dania Beach, Florida. When's the bridge going to be reopened?
Oh, well, we've just started. We just signed a contract, and we're just starting. Do you want to elaborate a little more, Colin?
I'm going to ask Mr. Kane to come up and address that.
Good evening, Brad
Good evening.
Kane, Public Services Director, Mayor, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Mr. Donnelly. Yeah, so the bridge contractor has already mobilized, and they've started their initial work this week, pressure cleaning the bridge, and they'll get into more of the heavy stuff starting over the next 2 weeks. And again, the anticipation is for them to be done by the end of December with the majority of the work that will allow for the bridge to be open by the first of the year. And then, probably over maybe 2 weeks, possibly some other additional work. But that would be done, and that would not have any effect on whether the bridge could be used or not. So
That's good.
that is the schedule.
Well, thank you. Now I don't have to say that under my comments.
I saved you one.
Thank you. Reverend Paul Wiggins. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
3 minutes. I got to.
Yeah, I have to put you on a time. You know, pastors.
3 minutes, sir.
That's good. 3 minutes, sir.
Good evening. I'm Reverend Paul Wiggins, 215 Northwest 5th Avenue. I pastor Greater Mount Zion AME Church, the second oldest African-American congregation here in the city of Dania. And let me say that I'm excited to be here tonight. Last month, I had the opportunity to attend a CRA meeting, and I got excited, particularly when I heard about the 6 lots or the 6 homes that were going to be built in the area, and then with the possibility of 12 more lots being donated to the CRA. So I stand tonight with that excitement because I had a flashback when I was in banking, because for 6 years with Bank of America, I worked in community development banking, and I partnered with CRAs all across the southern half of Florida, and I saw some amazing things happen through CRAs, and so I got real excited about the opportunity that exists, or the potential for the opportunity existing in the community where my parishioners live, work, and play. So I'm here to ask that you all strongly consider approving that initiative that's on the agenda for tonight to donate those other 12 lots to the CRA. And then I also want to say a word that you all have 2 very fine people in leadership positions with the CRA. They are strong. And then I've also had the opportunity to talk to the mayor, I talked to the Commissioner Grace, and I stand ready to support the initiative. I stand ready to join you all in making this a reality. There's a great change that's happening in the city of Dania Beach, and we want to ensure that everybody gets the opportunity to participate in that great change. So, did I do my sermon in 3 minutes?
You got 60 more seconds. You want 60
The
seconds?
doors of the church are now open.
All right. Thank you. Jim?
That's cute.
Good evening. Jim Silvernell, Dania Beach Lions Club, 501 Southwest 4th Avenue. We only came to say thank you to Commissioner Grace and Commissioner Salvino for all their service. As Lions, our motto is we serve, and we just wanted to thank them for all they've done in our community. You don't know the phone calls that we get every day when somebody needs something. And it's not only that we can take it out of our pocket, but we know other people that can help.
Yes.
It's called bridging the gap with each other. And I just want to thank them for their service, because there's been many a day I called on them, and there's many a day that they call on me. And if I don't know, then I'll find the right person to help them. And that's what it's all about in the community. It's about us working together. So I thank them both for all their service. Bobby, you can share the ham, but I think James wants it. He's already told me back there. And continue. And I'm very proud that you're both members, plus Lion Bill Harris is a member too.
Yes.
So we will continue to serve. We are still collecting for hurricane stuff at the Lions Club that are going up to Pensacola and to Georgia. This is going to be the third trip. So we thank everybody for bringing stuff. We've sent up 3 trucks now, or 3 trailers and a truck. So thank you, and God bless you. And I thank you all for my support, those that supported me that I ran for school board. Didn't make it, but that's okay.
That's all right.
Today's another day, and we're going to get up and do it again. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Pat Wright. Please state your name and address for the record, and you will have 3 minutes.
Pat Wright, 4391 Southwest 34th Lane, Daney Beach. I'm here for the Home Buyers Assistant Program. I know it's Broward and you're in Daney Beach getting together with this. Can you hear me okay?
No, you speak a little.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, you're good.
First off, for Broward's program, the down payment portions is 3% of the total purchase price. It breaks down to 2% from Broward County and 1% from the family savings that cannot be borrowed or received as a gift. It also says that it is only available for the first time home buyer, never owned a home before. Dania says that they could have owned a home 3 years prior, which it seems to be in conflict with what Broward County is saying. For a $220,000 home, Broward would pay for the down payment of $4,400, which would be the 2%, and the family would pay $2,200, which would be for 1%, equaling a total of $6,600 in down payment. Dania says that the qualified families will receive $10,000 down payment, which would equal $3,400 plus the Broward and family totals. That's $1,400 that Dania would be, what I'm understanding it to say. But the family has to pay 1% out of their pocket, making the total down payment $12,200. The rhetorical juggernaut question is Dania's portion a gift? Because Broward County says it cannot be a gift. It says that eligible properties include single-family residences, condominiums, villas, and townhomes within Daney Beach. So why is Dania limiting it to a small area of people presently living within the Daney Beach CRA map area instead of including all of Daney Beach low-income residents? And why are we taking precious land and proposing that that taxpayers of Daney Beach own and give it to a chosen field to put their house on? Residents in the Broward program is open to all low-income residents, and they can buy existing properties anywhere in Daney Beach. This vacant land that we own could be used to benefit all residents of Daney Beach. We have such a need. We have a much-needed need for a community center or a park for all to use with good parking. And if we give away the land, what is going to cost Daney taxpayers to buy land later to better serve the community, the whole community? If you give the land away for this project, who's going to pay for the electrical, the sewer, and the water lines to be installed? Is it going to be we, the people, the taxpayers? This appears to be a very costly way to help a handful of families at this present time, and potentially very expensive for Daney Beach residents. I am not in favor of adding I guess it's 12, I thought it was 10, families to the program. We need to slow down and think this through. There are too many questions at this time that my neighbors have to be answered. Things to me need to be worked out on the 6 openings that we now have before we go adding more. I do not mind helping people, but there are better ways of approaching it than to just give our land away. and maybe even better ways of doing it for more people, like giving free classes on budgeting and how to save money to buy a home. Also, if we continue this program, when the families are chosen, it should only be by a lottery. If not, you know, this could scream of corruption, and we don't want that. We want the people to get it randomly. You know, my husband and I was helped when we bought our first home by the federal government. We had to buy our own land. We had to make the down payment. But I am for helping families, though.
We'll address some of that when we get there. Very, very quickly, I just want to give you some information that you may or may not have had.
Okay.
The land that the city owns is not big enough to put these big luxurious parks or these areas for parking lots. They're very small, and they're slum and blighted. And this isn't a City of Dania Beach initiative. It's a CRA initiative. So even, I don't know if you understand, but CRA's initiative is to serve inside of the CRA. And if the city wanted to have an equal housing, affordable housing project, they could do that as well. Even though we sit on both boards, the CRA was brought into play because they're slum and blighted areas. So if you ride around the city of Dania Beach and other areas, you don't see a lot of vacant land in between homes that promote more crime. We have a large sense of rentership versus home buyers, homeowners in that area. And so there are things that we're going to discuss, but I just wanted to give you just a couple of little nuggets before we discuss it, all right?
And I understand that. There's also a lot of very low-income people on the Griffin Corridor that are renters, and, you know.
So maybe the city can look into having the same type of program, but the CRA's plan is to serve the people in the places and the businesses in the CRA.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, we'll move on. Thank you. Public safety reports. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners.
Good evening. Good evening.
Our main issues continue to be burglaries to vehicles involving unlocked doors. Residents, visitors to our city have a habit of just throwing the key fob in the center console or under the car, and their doors open up. So we continue to attend homeowners meetings and association meetings and get the word out. Lock your vehicle. You go to the store, lock your vehicle. You're at home. Yes, you can have a safe neighborhood, but please lock your doors. We have made several arrests, and several warrants have been issued for the burglaries in the southeast section. A couple of arrests and warrants were issued for grand theft, possession of stolen ID cards, and stolen vehicles. I want to thank everybody for coming out to the Fall Festival and National Night Out. It was a great showing. It keeps getting bigger and bigger, and I look forward to next year. We had an interesting call the other night on Federal Highway, Saturday night. We got a call of a pig running loose on Federal Highway. We don't usually get those calls here in Dania Beach. But, everyone was able to get the pig into custody and in the back of the cruiser. We couldn't find any agencies to actually take custody of this pig. It was a venture trying to find somebody to care for this pig in the meantime. It wasn't wearing a leash. It wasn't microchipped. We had no way of finding out who owned it. Animal control doesn't handle.
What did you do with it?
We found a ranch that does like a rescue type deal,
it's gonna
foster
be on
care.
Thanksgiving menu.
And in Southwest Ranches, so we transported the pig out there. So that was in the news, in the newspaper. So had a happy ending. In closing, I just want to thank Commissioner Grace and Commissioner Salvino for not only for all their hard work, but all their support that they've shown for the Sheriff's Office. It means a lot, and I look forward to continue to work with both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Brandon Marty?
He answered it. I was wondering what they did with that pig.
It's going to be on the menu, somebody's menu.
Yeah, because I don't eat turkey.
Do we have anyone from BSO Fire here? No. Okay. Consent agenda. Do we have any pulls?
Move the item.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Bids and requests for proposals.
8.1 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, awarding a bid related to request for proposal RFP number 18-016 to Razorback LLC for water tank painting services pertaining to the city rebranding efforts in an amount not to exceed $55,000. Providing for conflicts, further providing for an effective date.
Do we have any discussion for this item?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Item 2, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, authorizing the proper city officials to execute a financial statement audit engagement letter with the firm to be selected by the City Commission tonight for professional auditing services under request for proposal number 18-017, providing for conflicts, further providing for an effective date.
Do we have any recommendations, or who wants to take the lead on this?
Normally, what we normally do is we have the chart and we pick, I guess, 3. Mm-hmm. So I'm ready. I've already made up my mind.
Wait, you pick 3 and then what?
Then the top person would. Top 2?
Wait.
If I may.
Go ahead.
Again, we deal with this under the Florida statutes about selection of an auditor. What the commission may remember is that you directed an audit committee to prepare the RFP, which they did. 8 firms responded. The audit committee came back with a recommendation of 3 that they ranked in order of preference by a recommendation to you. And under the state law, you are to first look at the first one that was ranked the highest. Mm-hmm. You can either select that one, or if you choose not to select that particular one, you can reach another firm, any of the 8 that are qualified, but you have to give a reason why you don't select the top ranked one. That's all governed by state law. So you don't have to go through 3. You just deal with the first one. If you don't like the first one for a reason, we would need a good reason explained, please. And then you could go to whomever you wish, and that's who gets the award.
Vice Mayor?
In reviewing all the charts and the evidence, they chose a company that was out of town, and I would much prefer to have someone locally who's available at a moment's notice and who has the institutional knowledge of our accounting systems, because they have been able to develop a relationship with all of us up here over a period of time. And of course, we like to support the local business. And I think also when you deal with a company that's out of town, there will be additional expenses for travel and hotel, because it's not just a once a month job. That there's travel and time and meals and expenses involved in that, where we don't have that kind of extra expense when we have it from a local company.
Okay, Commissioner Grace?
My sentiments exactly. I feel very comfortable picking someone local. I've been very comfortable the last 5 years with the person that we've had. So I'm going to bypass the first choice, most definitely.
My reason on declining the first choice is going to be my reason for declining most of them. We have a lot of transition going on here in Dania Beach, from elected officials to even our finance director that's going to retire in a couple of years, to city management changing, to new directors, to a lot of things. And I definitely want to keep something constant here. In the firm that's from Central Florida, that's going to be driving, or wherever they're from, it's not going to cut it for me. So that's.
I think all you need is a motion to recommend whom you wish, and then you call a vote.
Okay.
I will recommend HCT Accounting here in Hollywood, so we have the advantage of having somebody local who knows and has the institutional knowledge of everything that we need here in the city. Because like the mayor said, we're going through some changes, and I think if we can hold that part of the ship constant, then it's to our benefit, because all the focus that's now on Dania Beach with our investors and people from outside the city, that he would be able to make a good comprehensive program of our financial stability, and we're very stable right now. So
I'll second that motion. My sentiments exactly.
Okay. Call the roll, please. Wait, I have a question. And I was just asking Tom, but I guess I can ask it publicly. When it comes down to the contract or the length of the contract, who decides that?
That's for you this evening under the RFP, the request for proposals.
Can we make that part of the motion?
Well, it would be, and just so everybody knows, it's a three-year term to do the audit with a related audit, and then there are 2 one-year options. It would come back to the commission in years 4 and 5 to see whether or not you wish to renew each of 2 years. So it's a total possible of 5 years. That's
Can you
the
make
vote.
that part of your
That's
motion?
the vote tonight. That is the motion. Okay. That's part of the motion.
Okay. We have a motion, and do we have a second?
I second it.
Oh, sorry. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Brandemart?
Yes.
Commissioner Grace?
Yes.
Commissioner Salvino?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor James?
Yes.
Thank you.
Public hearings.
Okay, 9-1 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, approving the variance request VA 5918 submitted by Florida Properties LLC, doing business as Popeyes, for property located at 506 South Federal Highway in the City of Dania Beach, Florida, as legally described in Exhibit A, a copy of which is attached to this resolution, providing for conflicts and further providing for an effective date. This was continued from the September 25, October 9, and October 23 City Commission meetings. Anybody who's going to address the commission on this evening, including staff, has to be sworn in under state law because it's called a quasi-judicial proceeding. Anybody who's going to speak on this matter for a sign variance, would you please stand very quickly? Swear affirm the testimony you give, Mr. LaFerry, will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Corinne's enjoying the night off.
Okay.
As the city attorney mentioned, this is a request for a variance. It's for a fast food restaurant at 506 South Federal Highway. It's a rehabilitation of an existing building, and the request was before the commission on September 25th, October 23rd, and the reason being for the continuance was to provide the opportunity for the applicant and their contractor to confirm progress on the project. That project had laid in delay for a number of months. I've been in contact with the new contractor. They've restarted the project. They got their last inspection last week, and they're moving ahead with the project. They expect to be done with the building in January. So they've got a new contractor on the job, and they're moving forward. The request is for a sign variance that includes 2 wall signs on Federal Highway, where 1 wall sign would normally be allowed, to increase the sign area, overall sign area from 44 square feet to 51 square feet, and to allow a monument sign on Federal Highway in the setback, that allowing the monument sign in the setback would not hinder the site safety triangle. So that's their request, and staff's recommended approval.
Commissioner Grace?
We didn't have a problem with the signage. We just wanted to know exactly when they were going to start working on that building and get it up and running, because they've been procrastinating for quite some time now. So do we have a firm date as to when they'll be completed or not?
Yeah, they've started up the project again. They've gotten their inspections, and they expect to be done in January.
Okay, then I'll make a motion that we approve.
You have this is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this? All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
And are they working every day now, Mark, or every other day, or
Well,
like for this to be done before the holidays?
They're remobilizing, so they don't have the full crew on there now.
No.
Yeah, but they will.
All right.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Brandemart?
Yes.
Commissioner Grace?
Yes.
Commissioner Salvino?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harris?
Yes.
Mayor James?
Yes.
Thank you.
Discussion and possible action.
10.1 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, authorizing the conveyance of 12 parcels of city-owned land, known as the property, within the Dania Beach Community Redevelopment Area at a price of $10 per parcel to the Dania Beach Community Redevelopment Agency, the CRA, for the purpose of using the property to facilitate single-family housing development in the community redevelopment area, authorizing the proper city officials to execute deeds and related documents for each parcel for this purpose, providing for conflicts, further providing for an effective date. This was continued from the October 23 commission meeting.
You want to talk? I don't know. Everyone's grabbing their mic. Go ahead.
I just want to, just one more time, because we've had an election and there's some good things that have happened to us in our city, that we defer that item number 10 one more time so we can get the new commission and the vice mayor involved in making that decision. And also on the ballot for Broward County, the Affordable Housing Trust Fund passed. And actually, I have an appointment with Tim Ryan tomorrow and Mr. Ralph Stone, who is in charge of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, to see that with our project that we currently have on the front burner would allocate us, or let us allocate more funds from the county to our program and find out what all the parameters are in the program. And I think the information is critical for the decision-making process as we lay the groundwork for our program, because it's going to be in perpetuity. And once we allocate those lands, then it's something that we're going to live with forever. So we want to just make sure that we do it right and we do it well. And I would like to have the new vice mayor and the mayor involved in the decision process. And so we can defer that to December the 11th.
Commissioner Grace?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I just want to address some of the concerns. I listened to a resident talk about the funding and how it's set up. It is the CRA. It is in the blighted area. The CRA for those 12 lots and for the 6 that we were already given will be in the blighted area of the city of Dania Beach. I really applaud the developer who came before us and gave us the $82,000 to help us with the defraying of the cost of that. If you want to continue this until the new commission, I urge and cautionally pray that this is something that will benefit that area, because they need some definitely upgrading. And I know that we have some new people that listen to the residents and the concerns. So I appreciate you wanting to do that, and whatever the will of this commission is, that is what I'll go along with.
You're like, go ahead.
Okay, I do have one other thing, and it was Amendment 6 on the state ballot about the additional exemption on the homestead exemptions, and that did not pass. So we had originally budgeted in our last budget season a loss of $350,000 that we budgeted for, and now we're not going to have that loss. So we basically have an extra $350,000 in budgeted funds that we need to decide for that money if we're going to put it in our own trust fund or in our restricted or in our general fund.
You ain't spending that money.
No, you don't have it to spend. What I was showing you on the slide was the potential for next year's revenue should the homestead exemption pass. We don't have any excess this year, but next year, in anticipation of whatever the property tax revenues are going to be, we won't be facing an additional reduction. So, but we don't have anything extra in this year's budget.
So, I mean, in establishing a trust fund that we want to do, what's the best way to do that from our own funds, and when we find out what the county's offering as well as Josh Gabaton?
You want to trust, what's the trust fund?
How do we set up an affordable housing trust fund?
That's something that's done by, we could do that by resolution by the city commission. We could bring forth a resolution establishing the trust fund.
Is that an ordinance?
I don't believe it's an ordinance, but I'll double check.
We do have.
It's been a while since we've done a new.
I think it's a resolution, but we James White of the outside law firm is looking at the entire process for us.
Raquel, can you come up and speak on it?
We'll need to see what the implications of establishing that are, but we have had one previous trust fund. It's a matter of establishing it, setting the rules, what the guidelines are going to be for spending it, and that sort of thing, and then finding the funding source to get it started.
Okay. Because I think she's been doing a lot of work. Based on our discussions with, Raquel Williams, CRA Executive Director. Based on our discussion with outside counsel, the creation of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund would require a ordinance change.
So it would take 2 readings for that to actually be enacted.
But wait, but you were asking questions on how we do it. I think that
We do it by ordinance, you just said. So when I get back to you or back to the commission with the information I get tomorrow from Tim Ryan and the Broward County Affordable Housing Trust, then we'll be able to find our way forward through that, and hopefully, you know, have the advantage of the big dollars from Broward County.
Do you have a date that the trust fund would be set in stone? And
so in order to establish the linkage fee, which is what the trust fund would really be creating, we have to have a study completed to establish what those fees should be based on the information that's available in the development in the city. So that study will not be completed until year's end. So the ordinance at the earliest can come before the commission in January of 2019.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the newly elected officials, and congratulations, by the way, to our mayor-elect and our vice mayor-elect being a part of the decision making. I just really want to make sure that we are doing what is in the CRA plan, and if there are other programs that we want to piggyback off of the CRA, I am more than happy and willing, especially with the $350,000, right, Bill? Willing to do that as well for the rest of the city. But we really have to understand what the CRA was put in place for. It is to eliminate slum and blighted areas. And in those areas, unfortunately, even if you have good credit, you still may need help with your down payment assistance. And in those areas, we are at a 50% rate at renter owner occupied. And with all of the developments that are happening in the CRA area and the millions of dollars that it's putting on our tax roll, what the CRA is asking or these lots or the investment back into the communities where millions of dollars are being put into our revenue source fund is like peanuts compared to us helping the very people that is funding this general fund. Because if you think about all of the businesses that are in the CRA area, let's talk about True Hotel that we just went to, and the groundbreaking that we went to, and Dania Point, and all the other things, the Wyndham Garden, all these hotels that are right here in the corridor of this community. Uplifting the slum and blighted areas will uplift the entire city, and I think that's what's being forgotten. So I welcome the new commission, and I look forward to what we're going to do. So are we going to defer this to the next meeting, Vice Mayor? You asked?
My lights.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Grace.
Okay, I just want to elaborate a little bit because all of those lots are in the blighted area for the CRA. If you have not had an opportunity to take a look at it, that's what it's geared toward. I can remember when the Dania Economic and Development Corporation wanted to take the old tire place where they dumped everything but you can possibly think of, and we transformed that into 82 single-family homes, first-time home buyers. We assisted them with SHIP dollars and Broward County assistance, down payment of $65,000 to make their payments livable. I can tell you we built the first home in 1990. It is 2018. Out of those 82 homes, I can tell you sincerely, we've only had 12 turnovers. Some because the residents passed away, some because they got old and the family came and got them and moved them away. And then we kept the certificate for 5 years so that they could not sell or transfer their homes to someone else before we gave them to them. So I am definitely in favor of helping to assist first-time home buyers, whether it's financially, whether it's educational-wise, whatever it takes to make all of those empty lots that we have in the CRA transformed into a very nice community. At the same time, we talked about upgrading the homes that are going to be adjacent to the new homes that we're going to be putting in with landscaping and painting, new windows, new doors. So if the CRA blighted area works, it works for the entire city of Dania Beach because we're building a tax base that we can all be proud of. Just keep that in mind.
Okay, Vice Mayor, go ahead.
Oh, I also want to mention that, as the chairman for the Broward League of Cities Affordable Trust Fund, I'll do everything that I can to, get all the information back to the commissioners to see how we move forward on the program. And it's kind of urgent from a financial standpoint because, interest rates are kind of low right now, and we don't know what the administration in Washington's going to do. And, from minute to minute, that's not a political statement. That is, looking forward to interest rates. Nobody wants the rates to go up, so that's kind of compels the urgency of the program. And we'll be taking a look at all that. And as soon as we can schedule a meeting with the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, like I said, with Tim Ryan and everybody, I'll be sure to bring back what I think will be very positive information because they talk about project ready, and our project is ready. We do have the land, and we do have the 6 homes already started to go into the permit process. So our project is ready. And also with the addition of the passage of the additional 1 penny sales tax in Broward County, there will be room there for some additional roadway, street, and city improvements as well.
Sure.
So what do you want to defer to?
Motion to defer until the new commissioners, vice mayor, and the mayor is seated.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Charitable donation funding request, Commissioner Grace.
Yes, I asked Colin to pull this item because it's late in the year. Normally we try to get those out by October. I like the list that you gave me. The list is consistent of what we did last year. I am just a little bit disappointed for aging.
Great aging.
Yes, because
gracefully aging.
Excuse me.
What do you?
No, the elderly aging. Number 1, because when we had Hurricane Irma in here last year, after the hurricane, I did not see them come in here not one time to assist us with our seniors. We actually got Dania Point and Jackson's to, and I believe there was one other organization that bought in hot meals for our seniors. So Colin, that was what, 60? What's the price on that?
Last year's donation was $6,370.
Okay, I would like for us to take $1,300 of that and give it to Love Nation, Mrs. Over. You can remember year before last, she came before us with the environment of with her children that did the poster board. She works at with our children at C.W. Thomas. She has been asking for funding for 2 years, and I think that since she has done a good job with the patch and with our children, helping them eat healthy, nutrition-wise, that we give her the 13 and that would keep it at the 35,000 that we asked for.
I have some discussion on this as well.
All right.
Oh my gosh, and mine is upside down. Okay, have it. I would like to see this commission think about, I work with the schools all the time, and they have no programming. They have no funds for programming there, for mentoring, for bullying, for all these social skills, for social, emotional learning. And I haven't seen this commission fund any thing for our schools yet. And these are very, very, very important programs that a lot of the schools are doing, and our schools do not have funding to do some of them. Some schools you have to be a D to even get any type of assistance. And I would like to see us, if we're going to cut some funding from places, to assist some schools, even if it's $1,500 or $2,000. We have 3 schools here in our city, and 2 high schools from other cities that our kids go to, but we actually have more than 3 schools in our district. We still have Bethune that's in our district outside of our city, but we have over 200 students that go there. And so I would like to see us give some funding, and they're all nonprofits, the schools are. I would like to see us give some funding, so think about that, giving some funding to some of our schools. Commissioner Brandon Marty?
Yeah. Instead of cutting back somebody, right? Which, by the way, you're right. I know who we got the help from for that hurricane. Instead of cutting back because all of these people are worthy, isn't there a way that we can add to it instead of cutting it back?
We have $350,000 that, you know.
Oh. Well, what I'm saying is, why should we cut back this lady because you want to give to the school? Why can't we just say we're giving to the school?
I'm here for it.
Well, then do it.
Well, how much you want to give them?
Well, even on Bobby's, I don't. Even though we're angry with those people because they didn't give us food, really, they didn't. And I'll tell you, on the east side, they got nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nobody.
But yet, I delivered on part of the east side with Lauren and you. And we walked the stairs with no electric, but we did not. I know where the food came from, and she's right. It came from Shapiro and other people that donated. We didn't get any help from certain organizations that you would help us, but they didn't.
We can keep it. Let's keep it the way it is.
And yeah, don't take it away from anybody.
I
don't like doing that.
$2,000 and give Mrs. Over $2,000.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, don't hurt nobody by taking money away
and that
that we
other
agreed to.
So wait, how many schools we talking about now? Like, we're gonna
Collins Elementary, Dania Elementary, Osa Middle School, South Broward High School,
and Hollywood Hills.
And Attucks and Bethune.
No, yeah, Hollywood Hills is the others.
Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
Hollywood Hills.
That's
so
in our district.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's $10,000.
And what's your problem?
I don't have a problem.
Oh.
Are we good?
Do it. Take a vote.
Before you vote?
Oh.
Yes.
You may recall last year that the Broward Regional Health and Planning Council, they lost the contract to do whatever work they were doing, and that money was redistributed to their successor agency, plus a portion went to, I believe, the St. Luke's Lodge or one of those other fellow lodges. I don't have that information in front of me, but if you're going to vote to approve the list as it is, it should be with the understanding that the money that would have gone to the Broward Regional Health Planning Council would go to that took over what they're doing, and plus the additional money that went to the St. Luke's Lodge.
No problem.
Okay. Everybody understand that?
No, but
you're not going to fund the Luke's Lodge in the.
I don't see it highlighted. I understand that.
Yeah, I
understand
what he's saying.
Yeah, this represents last year's donation, but if you go down the third column from the left, 2017, 2018. City paid donations. There's an amount that's not highlighted in $2,700.
Right?
They were given an award. However, they were no longer held the contract.
Got it. I remember
to do it. So we gave it to their successor agency. Not all of it, and a portion went to one of the Mason area lodges that serves social services.
Are you saying we're not doing that this time? Right?
Well, what I'm saying is that if you approve the list, this money that would go there would go to the successor agency and to the Mason Lodge that received the money. So it would, in essence, be the same appropriation that you had done last year. Okay. It's just not properly reflected on the sheet.
I got it.
So how much will we be up to, Colin, money-wise?
Well, if you're giving $2,000 per school,
yes,
and that's $10,000.
And Love Nation $2,000.
And Love Nation, that's $12,000. That would 47. Come from your resolution would to approve it out of the commissioner's contingency account.
How are we with the Friends of the Library? What's the donation?
Are we going to keep going?
No.
It's at 30. It's at 35.
That's good.
35?
Okay.
Yes, already in.
All right, we're good.
All right. I guess we have a motion. Do we have a motion?
A motion. I'll make it.
Okay. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Back to this. Let's see. The approved positions for parks and recreation.
Eric?
Brown, would you like
Ms.
to come up
Washington, don't
and
leave.
discuss the item?
I want to announce you guys before you go.
Yeah, they're out of here.
You're leaving. You're leaving me. Can I do that first?
She said
then?
yes.
Can I do that first?
Okay, 1 second,
Excuse
Mr.
me.
Brown. Mrs. Bird?
Mrs. Bird, Mrs. Washington, Gracefully Agent is in the room. Please stand. Gracefully Agent.
Oh, really? Can I let my seniors stand?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-oh, competition time.
Dania Beach senior citizens, please stand. Thank you, Marco.
There
Up,
you go.
go up. There you go.
Thank you so much. Great. I like that chicken.
Oh, my God.
I thought that was cute.
Okay, Mr. Brown. Y'all so cute.
Hello again. At the beginning of the budget year, you guys approved some part-time positions. I think it was park ranger positions. Well, as we went out with Bob and Colin and surveyed our city and our parks department, I think those positions will be best utilized by putting a park custodian in each one of the community centers. So what I am proposing tonight is to have 3 part-time park custodians that will be placed at each one of our community centers. Mid-year we'll come back and we would add a 4th position at mid-year after we have surveyed where we're headed as far as the parks and department. But I just want to say this. The city of Beach is at a beautiful place right now. And people are coming to the city of Dania Beach. And when families come to cities, there's 2 things that they judge a city on. And that's our schools and our parks. The Parks Department does not have a maintenance program. Well, we will have a maintenance program, and that's why I'm asking for these 3 positions to start that program. Public services do an amazing job when they can, but we need to have an in-house program for maintenance because of the special events that will take place in the city of Dania Beach Department. We can't put a work order in for maintenance when someone's going to leave on a Saturday night and the building is not going to be clean. These positions will allow that to take place.
So you don't want the park ranger positions?
Park ranger
right
positions will come at a later date
Okay.
and later years down. But right now, we don't need anybody monitoring dirty parks. We need somebody cleaning dirty parks, and then we'll bring on the park rangers later on.
All right.
But park rangers are not being taken completely out of the midst. But once we start expanding, park rangers will definitely be needed.
Commissioner Brandon Marty?
Yeah. Mr. Brown, I like your idea better than to just have the rangers. Rangers sound like, oh, they could be here or they could be there, because your biggest need is the parks custodians.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we use the parks. We know it. You need somebody there to pick up and all. And then I got a question that I'd like to ask us, too. Are we allowed to rent out our parks so that people can make money on them? We do that on an ongoing basis, and particularly, you know what I might be talking about. You seem to have a group there of over 200 people on a Friday or a Saturday night that's ongoing, and people are paying bucks to get into this. What is it?
I don't know.
It's a permit that's...
It's at IT Park, our, I got to say, best-looking community center. And to me it is, really, but we pay a lot of attention to it. But I want to know, what is this group? Because I'm getting phone calls like crazy in the neighborhood that there are 200 people there. It's a Friday or a Saturday night, and it's called Dania After Work.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that.
It sounds like it's in direct conflict with my Dania After Dark. What is Dania After Work?
Well, it's a legitimate.
Were you aware of this?
It's a legitimate. It's a legitimate.
Were you aware of it?
Yeah, just wait.
It's a legitimate building facility rental, and it is legit. So I would rather have this conversation as I gather more information, and I can get back to you guys with that. But it is a legitimate building rental based on our bylaws in the city of Dania Beach.
Well, what do you do if I needed that for our seniors that live in the city and I wanted to run an event? Is this a contracted thing?
No, it's based on a first come, first served basis.
We got to talk.
Yes, we will. Because I want to be able to gather more information before I just tell you anything out or give you any information.
Because you could do it aging gracefully too, you know?
How far out have they reserved the Friday nights? 3 months out, 4 months out, 6 months? Do you know?
I'll get that information back to you because I'm not sure as how far in advance they reserve the building. But all of our building rentals are first come, first served.
Because I thought that they already spoke to you about this, or
No.
I witnessed sideblinded you by asking
No,
you
no.
this. You know what I'm talking about,
Yes.
right? I really thought that our managers had spoken to you about it because I had great concern over this.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
That's it?
Yes. Review. Wait, do we need a motion for his positions that he's requesting? Or we already approved it at the budget time.
Oh, well, you approved him coming back to you. So if you would just take a roll call vote just to approve the facts, so I've got it in the minutes that we're going to deviate from the budget and come back.
He's asking you
Correct.
That's right.
I'll make a motion to approve the extra
Second.
3 custodial positions.
All in favor? Opposed? All right. The review and approve of city meeting dates 2019. Ladies in the audience, you need to pay attention. Our Vice Mayor-elect and our Mayor-elect, this is going to affect you all. Commission meeting dates in 2019. Well, can we wait until the next commission seated so they can have some time to look at it? Since it's okay. Okay, thank you. Commission comments, Commissioner Brandon Marty?
I just want to send my condolences out. As you all know, Teddy Bohannon passed away.
Yes, she did.
She was a great activist in the city. She marched with Turnaround Dania Beach constantly. And I just feel bad for the Teddy. And also the COP program, they should be sure to send, where's Leslie? Be sure that no one knows what the plans are yet. Facebook is saying none were made, but be sure that your program in uniform, because she was so dedicated, show up there, okay? Please, Leslie. Thank you. No, I have nothing else.
Commissioner Grace?
Nothing.
Commissioner Grace? You going to go out like that? You went out like that? You just dropped mic. That's how we do it. Right. Commissioner Salvino?
I just want to say thank you to the residents of Dania for allowing me to serve you for 4 years, and I enjoyed myself up here. I enjoyed working with the commission, and I wish well our new mayor and vice mayor good luck up here, and best. Thank you.
All right. Vice Mayor?
It's been a pleasure to serve with Commissioner Grace and Commissioner Salvino. When we first started working together back in 2015, that was for our 110th anniversary event. And I wasn't in office then, but I know from that time, and Charlotte, I see you're nodding your head, and everybody who's involved in that knew how hard we worked to pull that together. So if it's any example of what a team can do, then we did that, and I appreciate their years of service, their dedicated service, and I can't make it any more clear than that. We appreciate everything that they've ever done while they're on the dais and beyond. Thank you.
I'm going to start off with some announcements. Today I had the honor of going to Collins Elementary for Muffins with Mom to celebrate, and the first graders celebrated Spanish Heritage Month with some dances, and I learned some Spanish, and it was very, very nice. I don't know if they ate all of those muffins, but I'm sure there are a lot of children with a lot of energy running around. TJ Maxx is open. I was happy to attend that grand opening and do a little shopping. Another one of our businesses that are open, and the line, the line was wrapped around the store at 7:45 in the morning on Sunday. I was wondering who would schedule a grand opening at 7:45 on a Sunday. That's why we didn't have much of our commission there. And the line was wrapped around the door. A fashion show. They were excited. That place, I had to come back later, my shopping, and it was still packed. And it brought a lot of business to Shoe Carnival and the surrounding stores. The parking lot was full. And I just can't imagine what it's going to be like when all of these other stores continue to open one by one. And speaking of that, I was also able to attend the groundbreaking today for the True Hotel, and that is going to get started. I am looking forward to US 1 opening back up. That wall is almost finished. Do we have a deadline a timeline on that?
Mr. LaFerre, can you tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Look at that. Look at God. It's been a long time coming. Our goal was before school started, but you guys, this is how things work when the county's involved and engineers are involved and our safety is involved, and so we kept everyone safe. So that was our number one priority. But while we're working on the bridge, and we have Old Griffin is going to close in the new year, I really want to be able to relieve some of the pressure of our streets. And so thankful for that. I have a Thanksgiving drive. The Tamara James Foundation has a Thanksgiving drive that will be coming up on next Tuesday, the 20th. And we will be giving out at the Patch all types of produce and turkeys. Last year we were able to serve over 250 families with collard greens and green beans, fresh produce, sweet potatoes, onions, potatoes, and boxes filled with non-perishable food items and with turkeys. And so it will be at the Patch at 6 o'clock. Is it 6 o'clock? I think it's 5 o'clock, I think. 5 to 7. Thank you. It will be at the Patch from 5 o'clock until we run out, which happens typically fast. So bring your neighbor. It's for the community. It's for anyone that is living in any of the state of Florida. We're not limited to just Dania Beach, but we hope to serve as many, as many as we can. There is a hiring event at Hobby Lobby. We just got this paper at our CRA meeting, but I wanted to share it with you all. It started Monday, so on the 16th at the Hyatt House in Dania Beach. So the Hobby Lobby is now hiring for part-time, full-time management, I don't know, all of those positions. So please, if you know anyone that is looking for a job, please take them to the Hyatt House in Dania Beach. And also there is a Harvest Festival on the 17th. That's this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 at the Patch. So bring your kids there if they're like mine, needing something to do, and exert some of that energy. Just put them there for a good time. Lastly, I want to again thank Commissioner Salvino and Commissioner Grace for their public service. It's not easy. Over there is easier than being over here, because every time we vote yes to something, we're voting no to someone else. And so, we'll never make everyone happy, but to even have the balls to get up here and do the job that we do on a day-to-day basis takes a lot of pride, and it takes a lot of guts. And so I want to thank you all for your support, and I want to thank you all for your service to this city. And with that, I'll move on to our administrative reports.
Mayor, just to follow up on the discussion of the Northwest 1st Street Bridge, Dania Point has to push back the start of their new Griffin, or their old Griffin Road project, to give us some cushion with the contractor, so we don't have a section of our city isolated. So we thank them for that, and hopefully our contractor will do their work before the first of the year. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. City Attorney?
I'm going to reserve my comments for the Commissioners Grace and Salvino for the organizational meeting. You're here for that, right? Of course. Okay. Thank you. You won't be here? Oh, then I'm going to say something to you now. Then I do want to commend you for all the efforts that you have done here. I think about when you first proposed that idea for the Christmas lighting. That's you, Commissioner Salvino, that started that, and it lives here, and it's wildly successful, and it touches a lot of people, and it lives on with you doing that. I also remember you and Ms. Grace working very hard. Harris just alluded to that wonderful party that looked like it was something out of Manhattan. It was really well done. It was extremely professional. It was a wonderful time, but it exemplifies the kind of work you have both done and committed to the people who live and work here. So I know you've had very hard times, both of you, in making decisions that affect the residents, and they've been difficult decisions sometimes, and I know you had to vote your conscience, and you've done that, and you've stood steadfast, and you have done the city proud, and I'm honored to work with you. Thank you.
City Clerk?
A couple of meetings coming up. Monday, November 19 at 6 p.m. is the organization meeting. Tuesday, December 11 at 5:30 is the CRA board meeting, followed by a regular city commission meeting at 7 p.m. That's all.
Wait, I have one last thing. I'm so sorry. I spoke with Renee Narlock, and we'll discuss it with the new commission as well. However, I wanted to let you all know because I'm going to have Tom call everyone because I'm not in charge of that. But if you can check your calendars, she wants to come. It says I can be there noon or later on the 12th or anytime on the 13th of December. So Tom will get with everyone and schedule that. Tuesday, remember, we have the 11th, we have a commission meeting at 5:30, the CRA, and then a 7 o'clock meeting. So the 2 days after that are the days that Renee is available to come.
Don't look at me.
I'm not looking at you. I'm talking. Tom is going to address you all or call the rest of us, but just wanted to put that out there. I forgot to say that. All right. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and eat a lot. See you later.
Ebby, James, Bernard, Atara, Katura, come help me with the flowers and all the gifts.